In this video, we are going over how to make life easy, easier, whichever word you want to use. And I'm being absolutely serious about this because it might be that you believe life just isn't easy. You might have belief systems such as life has to be hard, it's meant to be hard, it's suffering, it's whatever else it is. But I want to go over some things you can do in order to shift this, to take you to a place where life actually is easy. It is absolutely possible. In fact, it's not as hard as you think it is. That's coming up next. So before we jump into it, my name is Dave, and this is HeartSpace, where I am creating videos every single day to help you along your heart path. And for me, that is helping you from wherever you are right now to really that life of your dreams, where life is easy and abundant and in a way effortless from your heart. So I also have a free training, a free course that's going to help you to do that. You can get that down below. It can help you invite miracles into your life in 3 days or less. Now, I'm currently in an Airbnb because I'm going to Mexico, so you won't see my usual background, which is why it looks a little weirder. But again, I want to go over in this video how you can start to make life a lot easier. And we're going to go over a few crucial things that are going to help you do this pretty quickly if you stick with it. And we're also going to cover very briefly, why is it most people do not live lives that are easy or simple or abundant or filled with love, joy, and all those things we seemingly want. Why is it that when we look out at the world, most people's lives do not appear easy at all? The first mindset, or the first kind of thing I want you to think about, is there's no single problem that you have that is actually bigger than what you are. And when you connect to what you actually are, when you connect to the divine, infinite, co-creative being that you are, to source, there really is no problem that's bigger than you. But one of the reasons that life becomes so hard for so many of us is because we make the problems in our lives so much bigger. The fact that we even have problems in our lives, quote unquote problems, is because we're making them bigger than what we are, or what we think we are. But when you connect to source, when you meditate, when you do the inner work, here's what I guarantee will happen if you do this consistently. Most of your problems start to fade away because you are connecting to that part of you that is bigger than any problem you can possibly think of, or any problem you've ever had come in. Now, this can seem, fairly impossible if you've never experienced this before. But again, as you're doing the inner work, as you're meditating, doing the breath work, or whatever it is your heart is calling you to do along your heart path, as you're walking down your heart path, problems start to fall away and life begins to get easier because you are connecting to that which you actually are. You are now connected to source. You see, a lot of people actually tie their identity with their problems. A lot of people think they're going to disappear if their problems disappear. Have you ever known someone, or even identified in yourself, that once one problem leaves, you almost create another? And maybe you might think that's something outside of you that creates it, but how many people have you known, maybe you looking from the outside in, who maybe a problem finally is resolved and then they just pick up 2 or 3 more problems, like they almost practically create it. They almost don't even know how to operate unless they have problems. And this is a self-inflicted thing. And this is what makes life so difficult. Yes, if you are creating problems for yourself all of the time, you are not connecting to that which you actually are. Life is going to be hard, but the thing we're unaware of most of the time is this is a choice. We are actually choosing, for the most part, to make it difficult, to make it hard. And we can also choose in the other direction to make it very easy. And it doesn't take much to make it easy. You don't need to be living in lavish abundance. You can live a very simple life and also live a very easy, loving, awesome, joyful life. Now, again, you can also invite abundance in. You can really tailor this over time to what you want specifically. But really, it is unnecessary to make life this really difficult, hard thing that so many of us have been conditioned into and have created habits around. Here is how your power works as a co-creative being, or I'm going to go over one part of it. You are a powerful co-creative being that works in tandem, cooperatively with life, with God, with source, with the universe, whatever label you want to use. And the way in which you create, the way in which you start your creation is through what's called intention. Now, if you use that power of focus and intention, where you direct your attention, if you direct it intentionally, would you ever create problems for yourself? Probably not. But most people direct their focus and attention unintentionally, and it ends up falling on other people's problems, or they're conditioned into creating problems. Essentially, they create belief systems that life is hard. And because you are a creator, because you are an intentional being, you have this power of intention and focus. You focus on this belief that life is hard. Life has no choice but to reflect people, circumstances, events, and other things that really fulfill that belief system. And so if you go around, life is hard, life will go, okay, and throw things in your path that make it hard. But if you go around saying life is easy, life will go, okay, and will throw things in your path or ways of thinking or, again, people and circumstances that will support that belief system. Both of these realities are available. It all comes down to a matter of which you want to live in and which you choose more often than not. Essentially, so many people believe that life is hard and then create their own evidence in order to support that belief or go looking for the evidence. It's like life is hard. I'm going to show you why it is. I'm going to look, okay, I'm going to look here, I'm going to look here, I'm going to get this thing, I'm going to get this thing, I'm going to create this problem, and life is hard. But you could easily do it the other way around. You know, that life is easy. And so many people, when they hear something like life is easy, they want to prove that person wrong. Like, I'll prove it wrong, I've suffered. But what if you proved me right? Because you could prove either one. And again, if you haven't proved to yourself that life can be easy yet, I understand that it's a hard thing to believe. But what do you have to lose? You know, if you just keep believing that life is hard, you'll go on suffering in that belief system. But what if you take this on board? What if you believe that life can be easy? You do the things that I mentioned, like create that belief system and keep coming back to that. The more focus you give on that, the more it will grow. And you also do the inner work that connects you to all that you are, to what you truly are. Because when you're connected to Source, do you really think there's any kind of problem that Source can't really lovingly handle? Do you really think there's anything that's bigger than that? No, we create these monsters out of our so-called problems and suffering, which only perpetuates them, when in reality we could dissipate them, remove them, release them, allow them to leave on their own accord by simply connecting to what we are. You can't turn on the darkness to remove the light. The darkness is simply the absence of light. And so when you connect to light, you start to illuminate the darkness. And again, if you truly can create the belief system that life is easy, life will be easy. I 100% back that, believe that, and have seen it work in my own life and many others. Now, anyway, as you start doing this, you might start noticing certain signs that you're starting to wake up more and more, because the more you wake up, the more you kind of see the truth of these matters, and you start to live from that place. So check out this video next, where I'm going over 10 signs that you are fully awake, and if you're displaying these things, noticing these things in your external and your internal world, it's a sign that you are waking up or even are fully awake.